Hello everybody, I hope you're all very well. It's all good here. It's been a very quiet week. I've got some new things to show you, well, obviously new old things, and some old things to show you. So get yourself comfortable, get a cup of tea, get a snack, and we'll start after this. Crumpets, crumpets, crumpets. Today's snack is toasted crumpets smothered in butter so it runs through the holes, and then Marmite on the top. Marmite, love it or hate it? Love it. I say very quiet. It was an extremely quiet week up until some drama that happened yesterday. I love chickpeas. Now, who'd have thought chickpeas could be the source of such drama? I nearly died over the chickpea. The tabloid headline would be "Murdered by Chickpea." I swear to God, I'd soaked some chickpeas, dried ones, overnight, and I put them on to boil yesterday morning. Massive pan full of them. So many chickpeas that they were just about up to the top, but there was room enough for the water and the stock cubes. So anyway, put them on the heat, whacked it on high to give them a rapid boil before turning them down to a simmer. So I turned them on high, went upstairs to start doing some work, and I was sort of snout down in the farthest reaches of the house, and I thought it hadn't been very long. However, all of a sudden, I kept checking out the window like a tiger mum that I am, that Begonia Coconut was safe and sound on her cushion in the garden, because she never moves from there. And if she's not on the cushion, I'm up and at it like a whippet. Where is she? Has she been stolen? Is she all right? I stood up and turned around, and I heard her yelling up the stairs, "Mom, Mom, 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 Mom." She was absolutely going mental. And as I stood up and turned around to look for her, the smell of gas was overwhelming. So I tore down the stairs, went into the kitchen, and they had boiled so quickly. I don't understand why. Maybe because there were so many chickpeas in the pan, there wasn't as much water as there normally is, and the water had overflowed and put the bloody light out, the pilot light out on the ring, on the gas ring. So it was just literally pumping out gas, not burning it. I turned it off quickly. The house stunk of gas. Honestly, this could happen to anyone. It's never happened to me before, and I can't believe it did happen. But obviously, it's just like a normal domestic accident. Can you imagine? So I turned it off. I opened every window in the house, and then I took her outside, and we just stood outside in the garden for ages, waiting for the gas to disappear. Begonia Coconut saved my life. And I stood there thinking, am I starting Alzheimer's? Is this it? Is this the start of it? I've never in my life left the gas unattended, but it was just such a normal thing to do. I've done it a million times over the years. So if it hadn't been for Begonia, I might have been floating through the universe, far above the galaxy. Or it might have been all right. No, but anyway, I'm gonna stick to the story that she saved my life and the whole street's life, because God knows if it had gone up. But it wouldn't have gone up because there was nothing to ignite it. But what might have happened is I might have sort of slipped unconscious, and then died, just quietly died by the chickpea. Death by chickpea. Anyway, rambling on. Nobody died and everything's fine. The chickpeas are cooked. They're mostly in the freezer, but they'll be in a curry tonight for my dinner. So this week I've got some new little things that I've bought in the charity shop, thrift store, depending on which country you're in. We call them charity shops. And I've also got a little garden update. Don't worry, don't be bored if you're not into the plants so much. It's very short, it's really exciting, and it's very uplifting. So stick around, don't disappear. And it's honestly, it's just like a 2-3 minute update, even not even that. And I've also got a pile of fantastically delicious clothes that I used to wear when I had a fantastically delicious life in London and New York and Hong Kong and thereabouts. Now, yeah, nice and quiet, in my house. Not that keen on going out much. Just wear it in the living room. I don't even do that. I just put my caftan on and roll around the garden. However, I still got it. And I'm going to show it to you. So here we go with the wee garden update. Fabulous. First bit of exciting news. They've all had their first big hose down, but I call it hoedown because it's like having a party. The drinks are on me, so I'll be tripping over that for a year now. This is the news of the week. Do you remember when I bought the Christmas tree in the darkest, bleakest week between Christmas and New Year? And I thought it was dead, and then I had buyer's remorse. And it was just constantly in the way, and it was all brown and horrible. Well, there's all the brown and horribleness. And look, there's the life. Oh my God, look at that flower. There's the life. Look at that. It's growing new needles. Unbelievable. It's alive. I couldn't believe it when I saw it. Hang on. Gone. Can you see? Oh, it's got a begonia here on it. There we are. Can you see? Brilliant. Look at all the babies. Babies. Look at that one. Next fabulous bit of news is I got everyone in the balcony seats. All the violas I bought as rescues are in the baskets. So that's exactly what I wanted. Last year, do you remember I put those rescue petunias in and they turned out to be really violent, violet coloured sitters as opposed to soft, pale pink trailers. Oh, did my head in all year. So this is what I was after. This lovely colour scheme, soft, delicate, calming, soothing, perfect. And they're all around the place. Happy with that. Yep, got the two mystery boys in there. Still don't know what they are, but they've been cleaned up and they're all happy and content and looking much healthier. Well, no one joined in my game of rose roulette, so it turns out that as the only contestant, I won. However, I was also a worthy winner because I was right. Well, maybe still half the jury's out. I said it was going to be pale pink. It's definitely pink. But whether that turns sort of like a powdery pink, only time will tell. But look how many, there's loads more. It's a bouquet. Still no news on the colour of the second rose. Don't know, I have to wait. The dream, the perfect basket. Hi everybody. Hi. Look at everybody looking and smiling. Hi, hi. Look at my oak tree. This is Phil Oakleaf. Look at him. Amazing. Twice the size as last year. And all of that powdery mildew gone. So I wonder if that massive vicious frost we had that went on and on and on all the winter and into the spring, and they're still talking about it on the news, on the weather forecast. I wonder if that killed it, or if it was my relentless daily vinegar brushing routine. Don't know. Don't care. Just happy he's happy. There you go. Told you that's my rocket in bloom. Won't get a single leaf from that this year. Never mind. They do smell nice and the insects love them. Raspberries. And there's the drill. Time to go in. Oh, I'm so happy about that. That Christmas tree has just really, really blown my hair back. It was so exciting because I've been standing staring at it for months since Christmas, really. And I only spotted those little new pine needles yesterday. I kept looking at the little nodules and I touched a few and they fell off. So I thought, oh, it's definitely dead. Christmas is dead. But it's alive. So I'm super excited about that. Um, yeah, so um, I said last time that I'd been buying a few pieces of jewellery on Vinted. It's new to me. Um, I'm still unsure about Vinted, really. I'm not really completely over what it's all about, but I have had 3 successes from the 3 things that I bought. Yeah, so while it's good, while the sun is shining on my Vinted experience, this is what I bought this week. Honestly, those poor men in the shop. Who would have looked for something like that? Not I. He was just like bent over double, and the queue was huge. And the poor soul, honestly, the last thing he needed, I'm sure, was to try and find that. Anyway, he was so nice about it. He wasn't grumpy. He didn't say anything mean. He was just like, it's very small. When he finally found it, he was sweating. And I said, "Oh my God, it's tiny. Who would have sent that? He would have thought to look for that." Anyway, I'm happy. I'm very happy with it. Yeah, it's the Aldo fruit charm bracelet. Here we go. There we go. Love that. And I also got from the charity shop, I've got one of these which is a sort of higher quality. I think it might have come from a museum souvenir shop, which I have a small collection of museum souvenir shops or museum collection artifacts. And believe it or not, they are a thing. They are a collector's thing. Basically, anything's a collector's thing, isn't it? And I sort of got into it for a while. I was actively looking out for them, seeking them out. But this I don't think is one of those. But still, it's a fabulous Egyptian little scarab beetle longish pendant necklace, and this was £3.50. I tell you why I don't think it's museum quality standard. Museum make replicas, obviously. It's not well, could have been nicked from a museum, let's face it. Everything else we've got in this country is. But no, obviously not. Because it's got like a plastic tied cord. But still, it's really cool. I love that. I love the turquoise colour. Fabulous. And obviously, you know I love insects. Hang on. There she blows. Fabulous. I also got in the same shop at the same time this amazing, what I thought was, I've got this new camera. This obviously not this one. But it's not compatible with anything else I've got. Sorry, still the picture quality is not ideal. And to be honest, the other fancy one, I think it's worse. So, just please bear with me. One day. So this is by East, which is a high-end, top of the high street, fabulous sort of ethnic style shop. And I thought these were glass or like a really heavy resin, but I think on closer inspection when I got them home, they are red tree coral. Is that better? Not really. There. They're very dark red, even though the camera's sort of freaking out. There, sort of. And they're lovely and cold, and I thought, oh God, have I bought something that's, going to destroy the planet just by me having it? Can you see the shapes? They're like little trees. And apparently I know, we're all good. We're all fine. I mean, first of all, I bought it secondhand, so it's possibly vintage, and that's a bit of an excuse. As far as I can see through my relatively short research, this is not detrimental to the environment. It is not causing the complete downfall and destruction of civilization. Thank God. Although, you know, it's too late, isn't it? And never mind. This is a feel-good vlog. So there we go. Red tree coral choker necklace by East. That was £3.50 as well. They were both £3.50 in the same shop. And next door to that shop, unrelated, possibly from the same person, because often when stuff is donated, somehow it gets, thrown up into the cosmos and distributed throughout the charity shops, but you can tell it's sort of come from the same estate. I found this. Oh, fabulous. Hello, Tutankhamun. It's sterling silver. I did pay out for it and it was in the glass cabinet, but it was absolutely caked in crud. I didn't touch it. The lady in the shop, she's obviously, used to all the crud that's stuck to stuff, that donations that come in. Before the pandemic, I used to be okay with it. I mean, I'm extremely squeamish, honestly, but it gets me in strange ways. Because when I bought this house, there was a sort of a body-shaped stain on one of the floors in one of the bedrooms upstairs. It was obvious what it was, but it was obviously like a Victorian juice body. You know what I mean? It was an old body that had sort of leaked out in the shape of a body. And I was fine with that. I mean, there was absolutely no denying what it was. It was the shape of a human being. It's like it could have had a white chalk line around it on Columbo. But I spent weeks and months scraping that up, spraying it with Jif or whatever, with water and disinfectant, scraping up that juice, that human juice. But it was vintage human juice. Didn't bat an eyelid. Quite enjoyed it. Not bothered. If I see something sort of seeping out of a living person, nope, finished. I mean, so squeamish. I can't even watch sort of babies eat. Or if they've got food around their mouths, nope. Oh, I go. Sorry, no, I'm all right. I did that to myself. Seriously, that's how bad it is. Anyway, this was covered in cack, and she had a good pick at it, and we both. It was quite expensive. I can't remember how much it was, but I was just a bit desperate to buy something. When you're in that mood, and it wasn't a bargain. I think I paid full whack, and inside it says 925. So they had it listed as silver, which obviously put it in that price range, but it was thick with whatever. And so I soaked it when I got home in the sink, did a bit of mild disinfectant, and then I got the old bamboo toothbrush on it and soap. I used rose soap and scrub, pick, scrub, soak. Took ages because it was proper caked on for years. And underneath all the crud, eventually a stamp appeared next to the 925 stamp, and it says PSCL. And it turned out, after a bit of a fiddly research online, that it's by Peter Stone. So I went on their website, sent them a little chat message, and you never normally hear back from companies. They're just not bothered. Literally within minutes, got a reply. I asked the chat bot if they could tell me when it was issued, what year, and they immediately replied and said around about 2003. So it's vintage. It's a vintage Tutankhamun sterling silver ring. Fabulous. It's nice and big, and 2003. And I think it's worth the value. I think the value is around about £50 to £60. at least. So I love it. I'm going to wear it. Happy about that. I'm so happy that they replied. That's Peter Stone. Cool. Thank you. It's my lovely wee jewel haul of the week. Oh, they're just really unusual. I haven't got anything else like those. I'm really pleased with that. I feel quite. And I also bought this handbag, sort of like a jelly bag, and it's a replica of the famous Hermes bag, the souvenir bag, which is worth, oh God, probably about £600 or £700 at least, around about that. But it's a bigger one. It's a beach bag, and it's transparent orange jelly. This one is clearly, obviously, a replica, hot out of the factory, and it's complete with its long strap. Souvenir de l'exposition 1998. Un voyage au pays de Mévelise. Oh. Apologies to all the French people if anyone's watching. I'm sure they wouldn't recognise that as a language. Sorry. So there we go. That's like a sort of salmony coral jelly colour, and I paid £3 I think for it, and I was only in that charity shop because I was waiting for the chemist to open. Yes, there are shops in England that still close for lunch. This ain't Spain. What are they doing? What are they thinking of? We don't have a siesta. Open 9 to 5. That's the fact. Anyway, they close for lunch, and I think it's worth 25. So I don't think I'll be able to get all my gear in that, so I might list that. One day I'll get my Etsy shop going, or maybe I'll put it on eBay. It's in really good condition. Cool. There's lots of green ones, but I haven't seen one this colour. Fabulous. Right then, so what I've got to show you is basically just like my absolute favourite items of clothing from my wardrobe over the last sort of 20 years. It's not uber vintage, but it's just like the colours, stuff that I just it had such a fantastic moment, and it was what I was at that time, and now it's just the Tories have been in for too long. I know I put it on every now and again, but it just seems like inappropriate. It's like when Queen Victoria was on the throne in mourning when Albert popped his clogs and everyone had to wear black. You just wouldn't and couldn't consider going out in, yellow and coral. But that combination of colours is just, what I see in. So yeah, it sort of feels like that. It's like post-Brexit, 13 years of Tories, doesn't seem appropriate to wear colours. And I know you should do that thing that it's like some sort of motivational meme. No, that's exactly why you should wear them. But I'm saying no. Impossible. Anyway, I'm going to show you them on. Still haven't got a name for her. So here we go. So the colour combination I'm talking about is this. And I know what you're thinking, she didn't. She did. And I bought this in Bangkok, and I'll try to keep this brief. Basically, I only came back to Britain from being overseas. At the time I was in Madrid, but I'd left Hong Kong to go to Madrid because of Brexit. And when Brexit went through, I knew that I had to come back to Britain because of visas and all that kind of stuff, and all that malarkey. Basically, let's not go into that. But I didn't have a house because I'd sold my flat in London, so I had to just buy anything I had with my savings, my life savings. So I had somewhere to live that, couldn't kick me out because of visas or what have you. And I haven't got sort of a family that I can just go, just like stay over for a few weeks until I decide where else in the fabulous world I'm going. So I needed a base. So I turned up in England and I just, searched for 3 months for any old thing that I could afford. But, but basically bought an absolute shithole and got stuck in renovating it. Loved renovating it. That's just like, oh, that's fun for me. And in the meantime, every now and again, a friend from overseas would get in touch and say, "Do you want a job here? Do you want a job there?" And I say, "Sort of yes, maybe no, but I've just got to finish this first. I've just got to get it all painted white, get it clean, get it stable, make sure it's still standing when I come back to it when I get kicked out of another far-flung country." So I had somewhere safe to come back to where I could put basically all my knickknacks that I buy from flea markets overseas. And that went on a long time. It took a long time to get this place sorted. It's still not completely finished, but it's secure and it's beautiful. It's just a fabulous house. And I'd kind of aged a little bit in that time, I'd gotten a little bit over the threshold of what I was when I left the first time round. And that's important. You have to listen to that. And anyway, a job offer came in and it seemed like a brilliant offer, to be honest. And it was in Bangkok. It was in a very, very good school. It's one of the top schools. And I went through the process of thinking, can't turn this down. It's too good. It's too good to refuse. Anyway, there was something in the back of my mind saying, you sure? Are you sure? Do you really want to go? And I was lying on the sofa that I'd finally gotten after sitting on a bucket for 2 years. I don't mean I had a toilet. It wasn't a toilet in a bucket. It was just like a seat. I was just sitting on a bucket because I hadn't on the floor. But I finally got a sofa. It was all brand new and clean and fabulous. And on a side note, I kind of overcompensated for the lack of sofas for so long. And now I've got 3 in this room, 1 in the next room, and there's another one upstairs. Just call me GFS. And so I went through all the process of this kind of job thing, and right at the end, I asked the one question. I said, "Can I just ask who I'll be working with?" And they said, "Yes, you'll be working with a young 26-year-old boy from the States." And I thought, do you know what? I won't. The thought of working with that kind of energy, when my energy was very much middle-aged, worn-out, old British woman, it was a gig too far. So I very politely thanked them for their offer, and I said, just before this goes into full commitment, it's not for me. So anyway, that yarn, it sort of left me with a little bit of a thing inside me that I had unfinished business in Bangkok. So after a couple of years of this house, I thought, I have to get out of here. I've got to get out of here. I can't scrape, fill, paint, sew, chop anymore. I have to go and just go somewhere glamorous, and I've just got to find out, what Bangkok's all about. So off I fucking went. Packed my old leopard print suitcase and I booked a flight, and I was really, 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 really nervous for some reason. I don't know why, because I used to do that daily. Off I go. The suitcase was rarely emptied. Anyway, look at me holding this pom-pom. Jabbering away. So anyway, got to Bangkok and settled in quite nicely. Had this lovely apartment off Airbnb. The landlady was a young girl. She was lovely. It was all just really the right thing. And so off I went into Bangkok, foraging for knickknacks and vintage treasures. Unbelievably, spidey senses were on fire, and I found like a flea market that the tourists didn't go to. It was amazing. I mean, obviously I found the Chatuchak market, but there's another one and another one outside that. Oh, amazing. So on it, a strange thing would happen in Bangkok, and I still don't really understand what was going on. And something would have the price on it, and I'd go up to the woman who was selling it, and I'd hand over the money, and she'd say, "Oh, you could have that for," and it would be less. it happened over and over again, and I didn't barter or bargain with them because God, give them a break. There's so many like wealthy white male tourists there for all sorts of reasons, but they'd be haggling, relentlessly over a few pence, and I just, oh my God, just pay it. Jesus, pay it. God, oh, it made me feel sick. So anyway, I just paid it, and they'd say it's less, and I still don't understand why. Anyway, I live for this. This is my ideal color combination. It just makes me happy. So I'm finally getting to the outfit. I bought that shirt. It was brand new with tags. It's from Whistles. It's pure silk. It was fresh out of the shop. The retail price was 145, I think. It was 99 pence in a charity shop in Bristol. Thank you very much, Bristol. Do you know what? Bristol owed me that money. And I was wearing it constantly with yellow sort of capri trousers, but I can't find them. Sorry, I've looked all over the house for them. I can't find them. So I've put it with a Marks and Spencer skirt that I bought in the sale, I think. 1950, I think, something like that. Anyway, that's the right colour. But that wasn't from a charity shop, but the top was. And I was sat in bed looking at my clothes hanging up, and then I had this on my door, and all of a sudden I realised, yeah, uh, when I go for something, I go all in. So anyway, those are the colours. That's Bangkok, and I used to wear it with this necklace. That one, bought from Chatuchak Market. There's a story attached to that, but I'll spare you that one. It's too long. And look, I also got that hat, Thai dancer's hat in the in Little India in Bangkok, which was just like fantastic. There was Chinatown and Little India together. Oh my God, I never felt so happy. Well, oh, I did obviously, but that was the happiest place I found in Bangkok. And the same thing happened again. I took it up to the till to pay for it. She said, "Oh no, you can have that for like half the price on the thing." Don't know, don't understand. There it is in another combination. I wore that for my book launch. When I say I commit, I mean I commit. I go all in. The top was from a charity shop, probably about £2. I think it's from Dorothy Perkins originally. And the trousers I paid full price for when I still used to shop in the shops, and they are from River Island, and they were about 12 foot long. And I've tried to take them up about 3 times, and every time I take them up and I think this is it, this is the one, they're still a foot too long. Or maybe I'm getting shorter, I don't know. But oh, the colours, fabulous. Sailor buttons as well. They're not real pockets though. No good. No good for leaflets. I got this Gucci knockoff shirt in Bangkok as well. I absolutely love it. It's got everything I love on it. Insects, animals, tigers, leopards, fox, snakes. And the back, it's got really good placement. Hang on. And this one in the same place. Wow. These in Bangkok as well, and actually could do them up. I wore metallic trousers out into the hot, wet night of Bangkok. Oh, the thought of that now. Oh no, the hormones. No, the hormones. It wasn't even that long ago. It was only just before the pandemic. Oh, creeps up on you real quick. No. Totally different. I absolutely love this dress. It's seen some action, and I think it was knocking around in around about 2000, or is it Y2K? Maybe it's after that, but certainly sort of, the 200s. And I just absolutely love a ruffle and a frill, and this has got a bit of a 70s throwback look. It's cheesecloth. It's from French Connection. I think I might have bought it from the shop in London, and yeah, that was such a look. I was really into that style for most of that decade. Actually, if we're talking about me, it was probably 5 years in that decade. So there's that one, and there's two of the skirts that really sort of mark a moment in time in my own wardrobe. Oh, this one. It's absolutely amazing, but there's a very strange vibe about it, and I don't know why. It's Ralph Lauren. It's embroidered, frilled maxi, and I got it in TK Maxx, and I think it was originally something like £300. I mean, maybe I did once or twice, but just not that. I'm just not into that. And it was just like one of those TK Maxx absolute magic moments where it was reduced to something like £6. I've got a Valentino skirt that was reduced to absolutely nothing as well, and I wore that on stage several times. But there's something happened when I was wearing this skirt for the first time, and I've never really gotten over it. And it wasn't serious. I put it on and I thought, somebody will say, oh, that's a nice skirt. But what I got was a really sort of cool, a bit of a judgmental vibe from the people I was with. And it was ever so strange. I was not expecting it, because normally they'd be like, oh, you look fabulous, blah, 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 that type of thing. But they didn't. There was sort of like a bit of a pursed lip disapproving vibe, and I've never gotten over it. Oh, look, it's the same as my mantelpiece. Yeah, and I think I kind of tried to wear it again in another place at another time with different people, but I was so kind of consumed with the disapproval I'd received the first time. No one said anything. It was just like a thing that I picked up on. And Lord knows I absolutely don't give a shit what people think about me. Never have. Pathologically disinterested in anyone's opinion of my self attitudes and behaviour. Couldn't give a monkeys. But for some reason, I don't know why, something got me about the skirt. So I haven't worn it in decades. Don't know. Anyway, there it is, in all its beautiful, ruffly frilled, netted glory. Speaking of which, oh, do you remember that time? Oh, the Sarah Jessica Parker Sex and the City twirly tutu. Yeah, this was mine. I absolutely loved it. Another TK Maxx score. It's by Noah. I don't know, probably paid about 20 quid for it. But oh, I absolutely loved it. Wore it everywhere. And when I was working and living in Hong Kong, wore it out when I hadn't been there very long. And the entire time I had it kind of bunched up in my two fists up around my knees, because I just thought I was going to sweep up some cockroaches outside in the street. And that did happen to a friend of mine. Oh, I was absolutely paranoid that I was just going to sweep up some leggy detritus. So I wore it like a nappy, basically. And oh, it was a little bit of a stressful night. But then I did feel beautiful for 5 minutes as I left the house. I love that skirt. Oh, I love that skirt. Used to wear it with a little sort of waterfall fronted ripple, a flutter sleeved jersey t-shirt type thing, draped down. Yeah, with a pendant. Yeah. Oh. Twirly. Pow. I don't know if it's the ruffle or the colour that's blowing up the camera, but oh, I love this shirt. This was from a charity shop just before the pandemic. I think I probably paid about £3 for it. It's vintage, 80s, I reckon. And it's got a lovely polka dot sort of texture on it. It reminds me a little bit of a clown's outfit. I don't know why, but in a really good way. And obviously it needs a statement brooch in there. The camera. I've had to come right far back because the colour's just absolutely freaking out on the camera. But this is a modern one. This was from a charity shop, a thrift store. I think I paid about £6 for that. And it's from Debenhams. So, I mean, probably about 6 years old. Absolutely love it. Have worn it to death. will continue wearing it. It's the biggest ruffly frilled blouse I've ever had. Oh, every time I put it on, whenever I need it, it's there. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those blouses, one of those items of clothing. It's just like your backup, your soldier, your bodyguard. Your bodyguard blouse, that's what it's called now. That's what I'm going to call it. My bodyguard blouse. I love it, honestly. It just, with jeans or with a skirt or with sort of tapered cigarette trousers, with that grey fancy netted thing, to be honest. There's nothing it won't go with. And it looks fabulous by itself or under a jacket with all that coming out the front. Another one, River Island, a very thick satin type fabric. Classic 70s puff sleeves with a big cuff and lots of buttons, but the timeless pussy bowl. It is secretary. That's its category. Secretary. I love it. This one, fabulous. It's contemporary. It's actually from New Look, but it's straight out of the 1970s pattern book, isn't it? And I call it my Colombo murderous blouse. I was going to save that belt for a special video I'm doing on turquoise, the colour, but I just thought it worked perfectly as a proper lady killer, as in a lady killer in Colombo, a murderess. Yeah, I just feel like a Colombo killer when I'm in that blouse. Fabulous. It's really empowering. Yeah, love it. And it was from New Look. New Look. Charity shop. Paid £7 for that. How much? It was worth every penny. And my last blouse is my favourite blouse. Oh, everything about this blouse just makes me feel so warm and happy and content. I found it when I was at my most happiest, warm and content in every way, emotionally, physically, spiritually, psychologically. I'd never been that happy in my life, and I probably never will be again, but I had that moment. I was there. I bought this vintage Japanese ladybird 80s blouse in the flea market. Well, it's not really the flea market. It was the vintage store in the night market in Hong Kong on Temple Street night market. And I always called the shop Me and Bobby McGee, but that's not its name. But I could never remember the name. I could never keep the letters in the right order. I think it's C, B and G, G, B and C. Anyway, it's the biggest vintage shop, open fronted shop on the night market. You can't miss it if you go to Hong Kong. It's fantastic. Please let it still be open. But I used to spend hours in the dark, brightly lit with life and neon and colour and noise, and just feeling electric inside. Like your whole body just felt alive in Hong Kong. And the most alive I ever felt in Hong Kong was in the markets. They're just absolutely joyous places. I felt so safe, so it's surrounded by activity and beauty and everything. Anyway, this is my ultimate blouse. It's got mega thick shoulder pads, box, fantastic, little cowl turned neck. Look at the print. It's got ladybirds on. Do you know, I sort of had in my mind that there was Lily of the Valley, but I don't think it is. It's just a beautiful little flower. And there they all are, living their best life. And here we all are living our best lives together. Isn't that amazing? And I used to wear it with everything. I used to wear it for work with plain skirt, wear it with jeans now. I wear it with anything. But for the longest time, I've been looking for a pair of trousers that I bought when I first moved back to England. Could not find them. Tore the house apart, literally under every nook and cranny. And when I was getting all the clothes out for you today, guess what turned up? Some gold metallic culottes. They're proper gold, and they've got proper pockets as well, so you can put all your suffragette propaganda leaflets in there, no problem, both sides. And they're by traffic people, but I definitely got them in TK Maxx. Gold, S. I hope that S stands for stretch. Wicked. So there we are. Gold culottes. Do you know what? I didn't plan this, but I love it when a plan accidentally comes together, like the A-Team. Hang on a minute. You go beautifully. Oh, oh, yeah. Oh, I've just got into another dimension of vintage, thrifted, flea market, fashion heaven. So there we are, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Can someone please come around and sort out this pile of detritus that's getting higher and higher and higher? Oh, God. That's it for now. That's it for this week. I hope you have a fantastic week ahead. And thank you very much for joining me. If you liked it, please subscribe. It's completely free and it really, really helps me out. I'd be so grateful. I'd like to get my subscriber count up. But more than that, I'd like to expand our gang in the Bamboo Lounge. There's such safety in numbers, I tell you. So give me a little thumbs up too, that'd be fantastic. Or one of the two, I'd be more than happy with that. Tell your friends. Thank you. Now take care. I'll leave you with a little bit of begonia to set you on your way. Bye-bye. 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 Hi, darling. Hello. Hello. Oh, thank you. Good girl. Back to sleep.